Peace and blessings, everybody, and welcome to Our Life. I am super excited today to kick off Women's History Month by celebrating some phenomenal women. So before we get started and you meet my phenomenal guests, let me give you a quick removing the mask fact. Did you know in 1732, Laura Bassett was the first known woman to earn a university chair in a scientific field? So when we return, we will have the pleasure of sitting down and walking through the journey of 4 phenomenal female scientists. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and I am super excited. So my first scientist I have with me, I have 4 of them here today, but I have Miss Regina here with us, and I have Miss Holly. Thank you both for being here with me. I'm super excited to sit down and talk with each of you. So Regina, you are you're a PhD student in cell biology and president of WAMS, Women's Association of Minority Scientists.
That's correct, yes.
And Holly, your research is with addiction research, 3rd graduate student. You received a PhD in human psychological translation medicine.
It is a mouthful.
I got it close.
No one can get it to this.
I'm earning it still.
And you are the founder of a community overdose response. So I want to say, first of all, thank you for taking time out, because both of you drove real far to get here.
Let's not talk about it.
So thank you both. Both of you, and whichever wants to go first, give me a brief description of your research and research interest. Description of research and your research interest.
Sure, yeah, so as you said, my name is Regina Solomon. My central research interest is cellular biology. I love anything that has to do with the cell, how the cell signals within the body in response to certain stimulus. So right now I'm working and have been fortunate to be accepted into a lab at UTMB that studies infectious disease. So what we're doing right now in our main research focus is looking at how this bacterial pathogen is communicating with the human cell and how that promotes and propagates infection. So it's really fun. I love what I do.
She said it's really fun.
It's exhilarating knowing all the things that are kind of nuanced within the body.
And what our body does.
Yeah, definitely. Not only under the mask, but within the body. It's really fun.
Okay. And what about you?
And I'm Holly Chapman, as you just said, but my research is basically taking a risky behavior in substance use disorders and other neuropsychiatric disorders called impulsivity, which is basically acting without thinking. So if you've ever had an impulse to kind of drive through a yellow light without thinking about the consequences of the red light coming up or a policeman pulling you over, that's kind of what we think about for impulsivity. But it's a risky behavior in substance use disorders because it could be, we're trying to find individual markers within behavior, the brain, and then genetics in the body to see if impulsivity can be used as an individualized marker for helping treatment options for substance use disorder, because just about everybody that experiences substance use disorder, which is addiction, experiences it differently. And because everybody experiences it differently, the treatments out there don't work for everybody.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find more precision medicine or more treatments out there to help everybody. And that's what I do in the lab and outside of the lab, because I want to have a social impact with my research, because when you're in the lab, you're kind of behind a bench and you're doing things kind of in your own corner. But outside, I started or co-founded Community Overdose Response and Recovery Effort, And it's basically a company where we go out into the community and provide free education on opioid overdoses and how to reverse them with the medication naloxone, which basically just kicks off the opioids from working in your body and helps you to breathe again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What motivated both of you to want to be research scientists?
Yeah,
Because I use research as my favorite word, but what you both do, yeah.
I think I can actually kind of dial this back to one specific course that I took, but I'll just say that when I was younger, I used to think that the world was so black and white, that everything that is to be found out about the world is out there. You just have to go and open a book and maybe find it. When I took this one course, which was in cancer biology, which is extremely cell biology heavy, I found out that there is so much yet to learn about everything in the world, mainly about the STEM field. So this kind of motivated me to take on a graduate career, because you can't just learn everything in a textbook nowadays, or now. No. I've found out. So it kind of takes that next step of learning into discovery, which I was really interested in. There's not everything out there, so then there's things to be tapped into to yet to be learned. So I was really excited about that.
What motivated me was that when I was really young, my mother had an accident, and a car accident, and was taking some really strong pain medications. And she's a really tiny woman, and the prescribed amount of opioid pain medications that she had, they actually caused her to lose her memory.
Oh, wow.
And she lost her memory of having kids or having been married.
So it's like she had a form of dementia in a sense.
Yeah,
from
retrograde
the
amnesia.
Yeah.
So that she basically only remembered when she was 18,
wow.
and she was already well into her 30s at that point.
Oh, wow.
And when she started recovering from that, it was a big deal for our whole family, because she didn't remember she had kids, so we had to work through her remembering us and kind of like realizing that, hey, this is a family, and her personality, everything I knew about her basically changed with that moment.
Yeah.
And from then on, my parents ended up getting a divorce, and we moved around a lot. So we had, like, my mom ended up losing her job, and we were homeless for a while and just trying to find friends and family that would help us out. And because of that, at the time, the doctors couldn't tell us why.
Wow.
They didn't know it was because of the opioids. They didn't know that that could be a side effect. So I just wanted to go into science because I wanted to know why. Like, how could this happen to a person?
And that's what I say about my mom has a mental health history. Well, she's deceased now, but she had a mental health history. And I say that with mental health meds, that it'll cause dementia if you're taking it. And my mom took it. I'm 50 now, but my mom had been taking it for over 40 years, since I was born and baby. So medicine does cause other things if we don't.
There are definitely side effects to some medications that we're taking. Some are bad and some are good. It kind of depends.
It depends. What are some of the challenges you both face as being women as scientists in science?
Let's keep this going.
Yeah, so as a woman in science, and this is, I've really had to think about it more recently. My standards of like how I should be presenting my research, how I should be in anything that I'm doing, is being compared to my male counterparts' successes. So where they've struggled and gotten to a successful point, my standards are being compared to that. So they're saying, oh, why haven't you done this? Why aren't you already there where they're at?
Oh, wow.
And then my words being attributed to other individuals, like other males or other females, like my voice not being heard as much.
Okay.
I'm glad you went first, because that's I echo the exact same thing, but it's in the I guess more acute sense of just directly being overlooked. You're sitting in a meeting and you have other people right there that should be your counterparts and are your counterparts in every sense of the word. But then if you're talking to a superior, this whole sense of, I say something, but then it's not her, but since somebody else says something, then it's her.
Wow.
The exact same thing. So I think a lot of women in science feel that to a certain degree, and that's one of the main challenges that you have to deal with and talk to people about, because it happens quite often. So
Wow.
yeah, it's both in the acute and chronic sense, where it's just it's constantly these things that we have are just constantly being attributed to other people. But not only that, when you're in meetings, it's just
wow.
contact. Everything is just different.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a pin on that right there. So these lovely ladies will be back with me later on in the show. We're gonna take a quick break, and I'll have 2 more phenomenal scientists that will be sitting with me, and we'll see these lovely ladies back a little later in the show. So we'll be right back.
$100 on chicken nuggets?
$100 on chicken nuggets. Really?
How'd you get in my house?
I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Wisdom Tax, so you can help me with all of this.
Most definitely. Looks like you need help in bookkeeping.
So what about maximizing my refund?
We can only maximize your refund if you get organized. Here at Wisdom Tax and Financial, we teach you how to be free. Free.
Free. Awesome. So I can be free of these receipts.
Most definitely. Please give us a call.
Thank you. Can you free yourself out of my house, please?
Only if you promise to give us a call.
I'll give you a call. So I can be free.
Wisdom Tax. Learn to be free.
I'm here today to talk to you about home purchasing. You know, a lot of times people want to know, where do we start? When do we start? How much do we need to save? What does our credit score need to be like? Can I really move in now? And the answer is yes. The thing is that you want to get pre-approved first before you even go house shopping, because what you wouldn't want to happen is that you find the perfect home, but the bank won't qualify you for your mortgage. So always get pre-approved first. So find a good lender, which we have a lot of resources for you on that. Second, you want to make sure that anything that's on your credit, if it's something that you can work with, let's work with it, because everything on your credit, it depends on what it is for each mortgage company. And third, once you get that pre-approval, now it's time to go house shopping. Now, Willie, what about the money, the down payment and things like that? Well, they have a lot of programs that's out there. So based on your credit will depend on the down payment assistance that you can receive. But we do have a lot of resources and a lot of things that can help you. And everyone with the Adolph Group will hold you by your hand and walk you through the whole process. So you can contact us at www.theadolphgroup.com or 281-451-7087. And remember, when you have will, you have a way.
And we are back, guys, and I have with me Miss Lanisha. You want me to call you Lanisha, or the name I go? Let me say, yeah, Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Lanisha Patterson with us, and I have Dr. Monique Ferguson with us as well. So thank you. I just had a good conversation with their counterparts with us today. So let me give you a little background. of them as well. Dr. Monique Ferguson is Associate Professor, Diabetes Project, Department of Internal Medicine. And Miss Doctor is different because she just became that, just made it on over, cross over that doctor. And you, correct me if I'm wrong, specialize in biology.
Yes.
As well, cell biology as well, just like Miss Regina.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So let's get down to business here. Give us both a brief description of your profession so everybody will know and understand what you both do. Whoever wants to go first.
Okay, so yes, I'm an associate professor in the Department of Internal Medicine, Division of Infectious Diseases.
Wow.
And so I'm also a medical educator in the school, John Seeley School of Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And so my actually research journey began with an interest in HIV drug discovery. That's where I began.
Wow.
And so I actually spent 20 years doing that type of research.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and because that was at a time when there were not many drugs that were available
For
to treat
HIV?
individuals infected with HIV. And so I, fast forward to 20 years later, the research has made a tremendous advancement in the area. And so now there are many drugs to treat individuals, those infected with HIV, and it's no longer a death sentence.
And some people are coming up not detected
Exactly.
anymore and stuff like that.
Yes. And, with the preventative care, and so it's really advanced and really has done well. And so now the interest or the future direction is cure. So that's the next step.
Okay.
And so I have actually redirected my focus and my interest in diabetes.
Okay.
And so
that's
I'm
very
currently-
important.
Yes,
Because
yes,
it's a
yes.
lot of people with diabetes.
Yeah, and I'm currently the a lifestyle coach with the diabetes prevention program, and my focus is to assist those who have not yet been diagnosed with diabetes,
Okay.
taking a preventive approach.
Okay.
So yeah, I am currently actually a postdoctoral fellow, which means that I now have my PhD, and I'm basically going into the next step of training. It's a long process, but I'm going into the next step of training, being an independent research scientist until I become an associate professor myself one day, hopefully.
You will.
With my own laboratory.
You will.
So yeah, I have, again, generally, my research interest is cell biology. I've done lots of research in different fields. So I've done cancer research previously during my master's degree at Texas Southern University. And then I moved to getting my PhD, and where I was focused primarily in cell biology and pathology and infectious disease. So similar to Regina. We worked in the same lab, and just recently got my PhD in December. And so now I'm at MD Anderson as a postdoctoral fellow. Well, I'll actually be doing research on pancreatic cancer and new onset diabetes. So
And that's
basically
very
focusing on patients who have pancreatic cancer, and they also develop type 2 diabetes, and sort of trying to figure out the correlation between the two.
Really?
And if we can use new onset diabetes as a biomarker to detect pancreatic cancer early on. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. What motivated both of you to be research scientists? Because like I told her, research is my favorite word. We need to research
That's right.
everything, but I don't know if I wanted to do the type of research you do.
Yes, well, I actually had a love of science as a child. So
Really?
as a child, I love science. I love science classes. I love putting projects together. But at that time, I didn't know that you could make a career out of it. That was not until
And
I
you didn't
went to
see
college.
that.
I didn't see that. And so it was not until I went to college that when I worked in a laboratory and, and was, working in a different labs. And I had an aha moment because I observed individuals that actually did it for a profession.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, wow, I can do this. This is what I want to do. And so early on in college, I, had a passion, and I loved doing it. And it didn't seem like work because it opened your mind to discoveries and to learning.
And because when you love to do something,
Yes.
it's not, you don't look at it as a job.
Right.
Right.
If that, and that's your purpose.
And that's a purpose, right? And it still today brings me purpose.
Oh, wow.
And so, but that was my discovery, and then fast forward, the rest is history. So I've been with it over 30 years.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
amazing.
What about you? What about you?
Yeah, so I like the 2 words that you use, purpose and passion. And, mine stemmed from my own experience. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 4 years old. Almost died from that. Luckily, with a great team of doctors and the grace of God, I'm here because they didn't think I was going to live. Sort of fast forward after I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 8 years old. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, JDRF, had their first Children's Congress. And they brought out 100 children to come to Washington, D.C. to basically allocate for cures for type 1 diabetes and get more funding for research. So I got chosen as one of those children, and then out of those 100 children, 4 of us got chosen to speak in front of the Senate Appropriations Committee to do a testimony to plead for more funding for cures. And out of those 100 children, I was picked as one of those 4. And it was at that moment when I was with my mom, excuse me if I tear up, I hate this. When I was with my mom, that's when I knew that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And when I was 8 years old, I told them then that I was going to grow up to be a medical researcher and find cures for diseases.
Are.
And I am. And so
You are.
That's my story of passion and purpose.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I'm going to get one question to her before we go to a break and bring the other 3 ladies back. And I know you will not be in that segment with me, so I'm going to ask you a couple of things. So you can get these questions when you come back with me. When you come back with me, you get those. What is one life lesson for you from your career that you will have with you forever? Right now, what is one?
I think to fight through is the life lesson because what I've learned, especially when you have a career that is as demanding as this, is that you're going to have your ups and downs, both personally and in your career as well, in your work life. You're going to go through things. There's many mistakes to make when you're a scientist. I think there's more failures than there is anything, but that's the learning process. And as long as you have thick skin and you understand that you just have to fight through and you have to keep going, there'll be sleepless nights, things like that. I think that you'll be fine. And so my life lesson would just be to understand back then that as long as I keep fighting through, then this is why I'm here today. So, yeah.
And a two-part before we go to this break. What would you, as the woman you are now, tell yourself? I'm not trying to make you cry. Tell yourself 5 years ago. And what would you say to a young lady that's entering into a career as a scientist? Because that's not easy. What you guys do.
It's not.
That's not easy. And then I answer that. Then I did have another question.
Okay. Yeah.
Then that'll be my last question.
So, again, I mean, just similar to what I just answered, just to push through because you can do it. That's what I would tell myself. You can do it. And there's going to be a lot of people that's very critical of everything that you do. Do you present right? Do you speak right? Did you do your research right? Did you have what we call controls and all these different parameters, when you're doing your research. And it's an extra layer being a woman, but not only that, but a minority woman trying to do this. You don't see a lot of people like you walking in the hallway, and I'll be honest about that.
And see, because you said that brings me to my last question. Then I'm gonna take my break, and that's for both of you. What are some challenges as women you face in science, and then you threw in that component of being a minority in that field? What are some challenges you faced?
Well, this Dr. Patterson said it's twofold challenge.
Yeah.
It's not only just being a female, but you have in science, but also racial biases. Being a woman of color, and so that comes with. When you have your talents, your achievements, and your gifts and everything questioned.
Yeah.
And just having to deal with that. And sometimes that can seem like a chronic situation because it's an ongoing process at times. But, I happen to have an awesome mentor that helped to guide me and to overcome those challenges, and that helped keep me focused on my goals and for me to achieve my goals.
That was kind of what Miss Regina and Miss Holly said too. It's a double fold.
Yes.
Because you can ask the question and you'll get ignored, like she said, and then somebody else will ask the same question. And see me, that's not my profession. Because I'd be like, didn't you just hear me ask that? And I'm going to get kicked out the meeting.
I've been in the field for a while, so I'll have to,
I'll be like, didn't you just hear me say that?
Yes.
So what are...
Yeah, I agree with her. It's just that I like to call it the magnifying glass, and I've had those experiences where I felt like I was walking up and down a hallway where I didn't see too many people that looked like me, and so you're seeking out answers again, not just in your professional life, but your personal life. You're going through things in the background. How do I show up to work every day and still put this same face on and be who I am and be the good scientist when I'm going through things personally, right? But there's definitely, I feel like that magnifying glass is, are you capable of doing this and doing it well and being great and contributing to this field where you're trying to save millions of lives? What we do, people don't see us like you may see an MD, but we're working hard and very hard.
Because you're needed.
Right, exactly.
You have to be in, because you're the ones... I'm going to just say the first line of defense, because you are the ones that are researching all these diseases and things, and once you do your part and it passes, that's when the doctor gets it. So I understand what I do.
Yes, and that's called translation. From the bench top to the bedside.
That's what it is. So guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to get ready to go into our final segment, and I'll have back with me Miss Regina, Miss Holly, and Miss Monique, and we're going to ask a couple questions so we can motivate some more women scientists to go into school. So we'll be right back.
The Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We provide residential, commercial, leasing apartment locating. We provide consulting on home buying, home selling, and credit restoration. We help with private investments through All Faith Investment Corporation. Contact us now, the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We make real estate your reality.
Welcome to River and Word. Our founder is Pam Jones, and she has so much to offer to independents. River and Word magazine helps promote, support, and connect you to radio, TV, and marketers to help you be successful in the arts. River and Word recently launched the River Word Gospel Radio Station. It's a place to gain more exposure for your music or talk shows. River Health offers all natural products that may help you lose weight, gain energy, reverse the signs of aging, improve eyesight, grow your hair, and almost 40 plus benefits. For more information, visit riverhealthnewulife.com. Pam Jones also has 4 River Consulting for independents, where she will guide, advise, and connect you to the resources to develop your brand. Pam Jones founded the River Awards to recognize and award the independent artists in music, dance, writing, and painting. She felt a call from God to give honor to his people. For more information, visit us at riverandword.com.
Wisdom tax. Maybe I should give him a call. Oh, how did you get in my house again?
Now, you know I told you I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Well, I'm glad you showed up because I think I'm ready to get started.
Great. Look, I just need you to do one simple step. Visit our website online, www.wisdomtax.org. All right, fill out the application, and we'll get back to you, maybe even in the next 10 minutes.
Awesome. I'm about to be free. Look, this is amazing. You know, so what? Wait. Hello?
Call us at Wisdom Tax, where you learn to be free.
All right, so guys, we are back and we're in our final segment, and I have all 4 of these phenomenal ladies sitting down with me. How they do research, I might need to reevaluate my favorite word now because they are broken down research. So I have a couple more questions for you. What do you guys see for women in the research field for the future?
I think that the future is bright. There are many opportunities, and I think that, you know, being the faculty advisor to WAMS, the Women's Association of Minority Scientists, it shows that they represent greatness. And so, and they represent fantastic role models, you know, going out to the communities and encouraging the little girls that they can be what they've become.
Okay. What also would you say to young ladies entering in this career? Because Lanisha said earlier to keep pushing, keep moving, don't stop, keep moving on. Regina, Holly, what would either one of you say in regards to that?
Yeah, so I think something that I actually embodied my first year of graduate school is to just surround yourself with people, surround yourself with a support group, especially people that have been where you are, because you would be surprised how much power it gives you knowing that somebody has the exact same story that you are currently going through, but yet they've made it to where they are, where you're trying to get to. So I think if I were to tell anyone, just surround yourself by a strong group of women that they will get you far.
Yeah, and for me, first I would say congratulations. You're here at the table. Please keep going.
For real.
Please represent. Secondly, I would say to them, don't let life happen to you. Make sure that you are making life happen for you.
Yes.
And then third, this is partially my mentor's and her mentor's sayings are, 1, to keep going, and 2, to kiss it. And kiss it is keep it simple and straightforward.
Okay, because I didn't know if that meant, I didn't know if that kissing meant a good thing. If that meant a good thing or a bad thing. So, what would some of you say, knowing what you've been through now in life at the point you are, what would you say to the younger you?
Ooh. I would say you are going to learn to love how unique you are, because way back when I always felt so insecure comparing myself to other people until I grew into myself and I found out who I was and how unique I am in any situation I present myself in. So it comes back around for me. So I learned to love how unique I am, and I wish I could tell myself that when I was younger, because it would have expedited this career path that I'm on, which I love.
Yep. Yeah, I would say to my younger self, don't get caught up in what you think your future is going to be. Just keep moving, keep being resilient. Everything that's thrown at you, just keep going.
Keep going. So before I close out this, can each of you, or if you're allowed to, how can anybody follow you? I don't know if you guys do all of that kind of stuff, because it seems like you in the lab 24/7 trying to get us together. Can you give us a little, don't give your phone numbers out. Give us a little bit of that information, and then each of you give me one word would you give to a young lady that's trying to go into being a female scientist? One word.
I guess I can start. I would say the one word would be resilience. And where can you find me? Okay, you can find me so many different places. But okay, like I said, I am currently at MD Anderson right now. So if you Google MD Anderson, you'll actually find my contact information there. My email address there is llpatterson@mdanderson.org. If you just want to follow me on social medias, it's Nini Nini Patterson on Instagram and as well as Facebook.
Wonderful. I think the one word I would say, and it can kind of branch out into so many different aspects of life, is just power. Just power. Embody power.
Wow.
So yes, I want to, I guess, plug it would be what we're doing here, to just plug the social media of WHAMS. So we're working on growing our Instagram and kind of branching out further than our UTMB campus. So our Instagram handle is WAMS, WAMS_UTMB. You guys go follow us there, and you can get in touch with all of us. Holly and I are currently on the board, but we have a large organization that's growing. Still a little small on campus, but we have a lot of impact that we've currently done. So we'd love to see you guys follow us, get in touch with us.
And we're trying to branch out. So.
Yeah. Open to networking, open to collaborations, where we love that all.
Okay.
Yes, my one word would be to resilience. Just the resilience, to stick with it.
Resilience and power.
And yes, and power, exactly. So I am, as far as social media, I'm on LinkedIn. You can also reach me at mrfergus@utmb.edu.
Okay. Ms. Holly.
Yeah, so I guess my word would be sisterhood. WHAMS really has taught me that, and I have strong female leadership around me in the Center for Addiction Research.
Yeah.
And I guess you can find me on LinkedIn, Holly Lynn Chapman. I'm probably the only colored person you'll see with that name. Also, for CORE,
Easy to find.
no, for CORE, you can find us at core-app.org.
Okay. I want to thank all of you for sitting down with me. I hope this is not the last time. I hope you guys will definitely be back so we can talk more about go in depth to the research that you guys all do, because diabetes is definitely needed. Cell research is definitely needed. So guys, if you need any information on any one of our guests, please contact the ourlifetvshow@gmail.com. Thank you all again for coming out and talking to me, because I'm excited, because this is the first time I had sight. So yeah, I had a lot of questions. I was trying to get them to diagnose me while they was in here. But guys, until next time, always empower, always encourage, pull up to the table without fear, but with confidence, and continue to remove your mask.